able to see the video.
This is a view of the light, a fire burning through the night. We rise, we shine, we take the fight. A view of the light.
Welcome to Spirit Sessions, A View of the Light. Come on in today, because today is a very special day. Today we commemorate something that's a part of history and that's affected so many, but it's had an effect to some of us clear out into here. So let me burn a little sage first, and the question is, will you stand for love? Because it means something different to all of us. But today we are going to listen to some incredible true life stories, and we are going to learn a little bit of the history that happened behind why this poem was written by the wonderful, insightful poet Dorothy Oger. And so I was introduced from Jessica Dugas, creator of the Breakthrough Show network, community, and everything that we have. And Jessica introduced me to the poem. And at first, there was a lot, it's like, okay, we're reading the poem, and this is really neat. It makes me feel peace and love because we set our intentions and then we read it. But what I came to see over time is that there's an energy, a peaceful energy, and a lineage that comes like all the way through Venus and things right on through to today. So this is something that was specific for Dorothy to bring through. And I'm just so honored that we can be here today and learn the true meaning of the poem. So, Jessica, I would like to throw this over to you so that we can hear a little more about this.
Thank you, Teresa. And I'm so excited that we get to do this again and read the poem together. And it's so significant today because this is the 10-year anniversary of the poem today. And so Dorothy Oger was a friend of mine, a friend of Ollie's here, a friend of Daria's, and she was a Belgian poet, a coach, a speaker, and she created an intuitive poetry process to process through the human experiences that we have. Her most recognized work was the For Love poem, which is often referred to as I Shall Stand for Love. And it was written in the immediate aftermath of the terror attacks in Brussels, Belgium. And one of her friends had gone missing, and she was struggling with, what do I do with this? How do I process through what I'm feeling? And being a poet, that was the first thing that she went to, is she wanted to express herself through the poetry, and she wrote the poem. And in the years that followed, she did I think more than one TED Talk, and in that the poem had continued to be translated in what became translated in over 70 languages. People would hear the poem and they would say, I want to hear this in my native tongue, my language. And so they would translate the poem, and then the poem, it went further. It was translated into an instrumental piece of music and a choral piece of music. And so it really just took so much shape over time. In 2022, when the war started between Russia and Ukraine, Dorothy decided to host a meetup on Zoom every day at 1 p.m. Brussels time. And it was just a quick setting of intentions, read the poem together, unanimously in your native tongue, and have a moment of silence, and then go on about your day. And she started doing that every day at that point. um, in October that year, one of the days that we had gone to meet up, Dorothy ended up having a heart attack, and was unconscious for a little while, and then ended up passing away. And so since that time, we have continued to meet every single day to read the poem, set an intention, read the poem, and have that moment of silence together. So it's something that she was very passionate about, the power of energy, the power of setting the intentions for the things that you want to see in the world, and that all of that meant something and was powerful. And so we continue that today. And that's basically the story. But I'm sure that so Daria, I met through the daily poetry readings, and everything that we're doing. And we were very fortunate. Before Dorothy passed away, Daria came to the States, and we got to meet in person and send a picture to Dorothy, and all of that. And then last year, I was in a virtual event, and there was this guy talking about how much he loved poetry, and he just happened to be in Belgium. And I said, well, I need to tell you about my friend Dorothy. And he said, Dorothy Oger. And I said, oh my goodness. And that was Ollie. And so the three of us all knew her in very different capacities. But she impacted us, all of us, tremendously. And I would love to give them a moment to share anything that they would like. Daria?
Thank you so much, Jessica, and everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here on such a special day. And yes, Dorothy was and is such an inspiration. I mean, her poetry really moved the world, and her legacy lives on because she really, in this moment of uncertainty, horror, sadness, and the not knowing what happened to her friend, she just wrote this poem about love, and we're choosing love despite, even with a broken heart, even with a wounded soul. I think that shows her her inner attitude towards life, and I'm forever grateful to have met her, and then to have met you and created this circle, of love and spreading it. I do believe it has a ripple effect, and we've seen it. It's been spontaneously translated into so many languages, and still going around the world, spreading love.
And aren't you two doing a TEDx talk on this subject too?
I will do a TEDx talk, yes, integrating Dorothy's poem, yes,
Wow.
about the power of love, and why I do believe all the fear and all wars and violence will crumble if we stand for love, and we can do it. It's a choice we have.
We can do it. I love that. Thank
Oh,
you.
wonderful. And congratulations for that upcoming TED Talk. Do you have a date for that yet?
It will be on 23rd of April in Brussels, and it takes a while, but then it will be online. So happy to share the information with Jessica, of course. Yes. Thank you.
And Ollie, will you share with us your experience here?
Thank you. This day is special because of the 10th anniversary of the bombings. There was celebration on television. The king and the queen were there. and some victims were able to speak. And I was, even though I was not a victim of these bombings, I was impacted because I've said to myself, if that guy decided to do it few minutes before, and if my train was not, I was missing my train line, I could have been in that particular wagon. And then a few weeks and months later, after the bombings, I've met Dorothy on a co-working workshop, face-to-face co-working place, and I still have the flyers. She gave me the flyers 10 years ago. I still have them somewhere in my belongings. And what is really touching me back 10 years ago when I reflect is that um, she was in a uncertainty, and so she decided to express writing a poem, as she loves to write poems. And then she was publishing it directly online in English, French, Dutch, all the languages that she known. And then a few hours later, an Italian friend, told her, "Is it possible for me to translate them in my language so that I can connect more with my heart, reading and listening to the words in my own language?" And that's really touching me. And it's a call to action that I will already I'm setting already up front. You can go to dorothyauger.eu, search for the different versions, and if it's not in your language, if you know a native language and it's not in your native language, feel free to add your native language, because it will speak to people that are speaking the native language. I think about, for instance, Mr. J. Pasqua, who is speaking Chamorro, a language in the island of Guam. And so for me, it's about connecting from the heart. When we are connected from heart to heart, then we allow love, peace, openness, listening to have a space. Thank you.
Thank you. I love that. So we meet together carrying on the tradition that Dorothy started in 2022, right then. And what I'd kind of like to know is, we meet together, and the intentions that we set are often global, they're often weather related, community related, and for each other and for health and all kinds of things. But meeting with such a commitment nearly every day as we try to do, how has that kind of commitment for standing for love spread through your work? I don't know, something like that.
I mean, I think for me, um, Dorothy was on, so well before 2022. Dorothy was on my show. I had met her through a mutual friend, and I just loved how she shared about love. And it was coming into a time for me where I was bringing that sort of energy into the work that I was doing. And when I heard her read the poem, I'd read the poem myself, but when I heard her read the poem, I, s- I closed my eyes, and I will never forget this. I saw this image in my mind of all these different people from places and cultures and languages, and all of this in my, like, it was like a movie reel in my head. And I said to her afterwards, I said, "Dorothy, this is what I saw." And she's like, "It's so funny you say that, because I really would like to compile video recordings of all of the different versions of this poem." And so I worked very closely with Dorothy in the last year of her life, which we didn't know at the time, to work on compiling some of these versions. And we had done a version for International Women's Day, and we did a version that was all in Russian and Ukrainian when all of that was happening, at the beginning over there. We did several different versions of the poem, and And that whole period of time, spending that much time, when you hear, the more you hear the poem, the more you speak the poem, the more you hear it in different languages you don't even know, I don't know, it injects itself into your energetic being, and it becomes such a huge part of everything that you do moving forward. So for me, it is that commitment. Showing up every day to the poem is a commitment for me, but it's also not just a commitment to the poem, it's a commitment and reminder to myself that this is part of who I am now, and it becomes that energy that flows through everything that I do. That's my perspective on it.
I'd love to jump in. So for me, it's 1 p.m. because it's Brussels. I'm based in Brussels, so it's in the middle of the day, which sometimes makes it a little difficult. But it just gives me the sense of slowing down. It's a contemplative moment in community. And it's really beautiful because it's such a reminder, almost daily, that it's a choice. It's a choice. It's coming back to that energy of love, and then together with this intention in community and ending with this moment of silence, it just reaffirms that this is a core value. Like, that's who I want to be, who I strive to be. That's what I want to stand for. It's really a powerful moment, and it only takes a few minutes. I really do believe it's giving me such a sense of a groundedness. It grounds me in love. I think that's what it really does. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. How about you, Ollie? How does doing the poem every morning, every afternoon, help you?
In fact, I do my best to be as much as I can. I will tell something that Dorothy was doing it for years, and at some point when she was having her heart attack, I was also there for sending vibration so that she she can stay on Earth. But then ultimately she left. But 1 year ago, I've met Jessica and I've reconnected to the We Shall Stand for Love room. And even with a broken soul, even with a heavy heart, even if I am not able to attend, there is not one day since 1 year, since these 360 plus days, there is no one day that I'm not thinking about Dorothy, that I'm not thinking about the strength of this poem. Even if I think about that few minutes, I cannot, it's near 1 p.m. and I have this and this to do, and I'm not able to attend. I think about Dorothy each and every day since more than a year. And that in itself is even better than the habit. The habit that we try to fitness, gym, whatever. Here, each day I think about Dorothy because I think about what she did. She just wanted to express and to share how much time we express for ourselves, but we don't share our struggles. Here she was sharing her struggle, and she was a kind of an ambassador through her poem to other persons, to other victims. So thank you.
Yeah, I love that. Well, are we ready to read the poem, y'all? I mean, it's exciting. I think. Yeah, I knew I was going to forget that. I was listening to Ollie, and it's like, yeah, I just let that go out of my head. But let's do it. Let's get the poem up. Oh, wait. Let's have Katie explain, what are you doing as we read the poem today, Katie? Because today's a little different. It's not our normal reading of the poem.
We're doing a cool little scientific experiment today. I have a quantum biofeedback system. And what it is right now, all the major research universities are realizing the future of healing is light and sound based. And I just love that we're finally coming back to this full circle place. And what they're finding out is every single cell in our bodies has a unique vibration, just like everything in the universe does. The words, the energy behind this poem, as you all are seeing, is very intentional and really emits a frequency. And so as we're speaking, this system's going to capture, our voice and sample it and convert it into frequency. And it will create an actual auric scan of the energy field that is rippling out. Now, granted, it's coming through each and every one of us here, our own filter. So it's going to kind of capture the full essence, really, of this projection. So we'll do the poem, and then we can show the scan, and we can talk about it.
I have a little question. It's probably silly, but Teresa Brain here. How much of this scaling of what you do is like the Schumann resonance? Is it similar technology?
I mean, in a way, the Schumann resonance, a lot of it is really just the earth absorbing lightning bolts, right? Energy coming into the earth, and then the earth is, kind of calibrating that over all. So in a sense, because this is capturing that same thing as we speak, we're putting that energy out into the field, and it's capturing it and then giving us kind of, like a map, like a data point, like when you see the Schumann resonance graphs, and it'll show you the influctuations of the Earth's vibrational field in any given moment. This is going to show us in terms of the poem.
Yeah.
And I would just add in, I encourage everyone that's going to read with us at home, if you know the poem in your native language, please feel free to read it in that language, and you don't have to read it in English. So
yeah. And we're going to set our intentions before we do so, because that's just what we always do. It's a quick little intention that we want to send out as we send out the waves of this poem. And everyone here with us today or on the replay, put your intentions out there too, and then we'll all read them together. So I am setting the intentions. I guess inner peace. I'm needing a lot of inner peace today, and I want to send that to everyone else out there who needs it too.
I will send out for just this being the anniversary, for all the victims, for all the rescue people, for everyone who felt what Dorothy was clearly feeling in that moment when it happened 10 years ago.
Good.
And my intention would be, bathing, feeling so much gratitude for love. Gratitude for love.
The healing effect of love for the whole world, for Brussels and for the whole world. Because as we heal, the world heals.
Yeah.
I will also go with may everyone feel, especially those harmed here in Brussels 10 years ago, that the healing effects of love, and they are loved, that they are loved.
My intention is the same. More empathy, more listening, more love, and that we heal ourselves for the world to be healed.
And I would just add in forgiveness, the element of forgiveness, so that we can neutralize the effects and shine, light and peace, like everyone has said, on the world, and the impact every time, like you all have been sharing, that we read this and we put this back out into the world. We reset.
So I'll put the overlay of the poem above our faces so everyone in the audience can read it, and we can read it from our screens as well, if that's okay with everyone.
Yes.
It'll look like this.
As we read this poem in unison, it has an effect. And like you said, if you're reading it in your language too, but after the poem, we observe a minute of silence. And so that's really, really an important part of this. So, how about Jessica? Will you begin?
Sure. For love.
Für die Liebe.
I shall stand for love,
Je choisis l'amour,
soul,
même le cœur lourd,
even with a
même
heavy
l'âme
heart.
lourde.
I
Je
shall
choisis
stand
l'amour,
for
ce que le
love,
monde déchire,
wounded,
ajuste mon petit
not
pays,
for small little
où je
bits
suis
of
plutôt en
ours, for
sécurité,
I am mostly
où je suis
safe.
plutôt bien,
I am
mais le
mostly
monde
well
tout entier,
every
chaque jour.
every
Je choisis
Every
l'amour
every
day.
et
day.
je puise dans cette
I shall
shall
lumière
stand
stand
for
for
love
love
de roserayer la
because
because
we
vie
need more light.
et
not more
transformer la
death,
violence
Not
not
en
more
notre fin
death,
en guerre.
not
Je
more
choisis
power,
l'amour pour
not
que
more
nos
bomb.
I
enfants
shall
soient
stand for
sauvés,
love
pour que nos
so
amis
For
that
soient
love
others
lavés,
for
are
our
safe,
pour que
so
nos
that our
cimetières
friends
soient
are sheltered,
doux.
so
Je
that our
choisis l'amour,
borders are
même
protected.
le cœur lourd,
I
I
shall
shall
même l'âme
stand
stand
lourde.
for love
Even with a
Je
broken
with a
choisis
soul,
broken
l'amour,
soul,
even with a
even
heavy heart.
heavy
Even
heart.
with a heavy heart.
I shall
I shall
stand
stand for love.
Thank you all.
Thank you. So how is that? I always love when we come together and do stuff like this.
It was so beautiful because even though
Well,
everybody
Katie,
was
how's
kind
it
of
look?
speaking, at their own pace and it might have sounded a little overlaid and jumbled. I thought that was actually really neat because it just spoke to the
Yeah.
individual essence and energy that everybody was putting into it.
The voice. I love it.
And for me, what I experienced was it immediately took me out of my little Teresa tunnel vision. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yep.
open, expanded me. So I came more into coherence with a wholeness that is uncommon in today's world. Ooh, I'm getting angel bumps just saying that.
Yeah.
Angel bumps.
Angel bumps. Ooh, all over. On my face too.
Oh, just a second. I'll get you up big. It reminded me of singing a hymn in church where everybody had different parts. So it was lovely.
Cute.
Okay. Okay. Now you can. Okay. Oh.
Hang on. Okay. So
Oh,
this
okay.
is the auric imprint, if everybody can see that. And what you're looking at is about 80% of the energy, sorry for this backlight, is in that core circle. And you can see it's the essence of, actually like a pale peach is what we're looking at. And it's really cool when you see the ripple effect, right? And how it shifts as it disperses out, across the field. And we're all interconnected. I think that's what's really cool, that we've got people listening in and connecting from all over the world. And so this is almost like a celestial blue. You can see just the lightness of the frequency, the groundingness, right? The peach would be, kind of a grounded heart-based connection. This isn't like, just light, airy fairy. This is going deep, right? And then that red, accentuates that. And then that purple it's sending out to that connection with our own ability to be able to tune in, right, with our intuition and with our deeper senses, as far as connection and knowing the impact and projecting out the impact. The third eye is where we project from. And then you can see the diffusion is that blue, which I think a few people on our panel mentioned peace. And so if I were to say something, it's just like a one word analysis for, you know, the vibrational effect that we had today, it would be definitely peace, sending peace out, which is just such, it's so needed right now, right? Like, I
Yes.
just, it gives me goosebumps that, you know, thank you for creating this opportunity so that we can have this impact.
I wanted to share really quickly. So I pulled up while you were saying that the image that we did last year when we read this
Good.
poem, and I was looking at the difference, and the new one looks, I don't know, there's like a different clarity to it. And because I know we were talking about that last time, you were sharing about how obviously the energy is filtered through what we're feeling at the moment. There could be like residual things going on that have nothing to do with the poem at
Yeah.
all. And so last time we did it, there was a bright blue and bright green towards the center. The center was still like that peachy pink color, but then there was like the ring of like neon green and then a royal blue outside of that. And so seeing this, it I don't know, it's a different feeling. So I really enjoyed looking at the difference between the two as well.
And I mean, that's just a note that everybody should take home, because our energy is shifting in real time, right? Every moment you can change, you know, and shift the way that you emanate. So I love that. I thought the same thing. This right now, the world needs peace more than ever. And so I think this really speaks to, you know, because there's several rings, those outer rings, there's more than just one that are really rippling that out. Last year, that green and blue was healing. It was a little different, right? So just know, you know, every day when you read this poem, it's really sending out, you know, exactly what Gaia and the world needs right now.
Wow. I love that. I appreciate that. Now, I wasn't thinking about the colors we send out every day, even though Katie's not doing that. We're still sending it. So how
Yeah.
beautiful. I love it.
Oh, that's
Oh,
amazing. I mean, all of this is amazing. And Katie, it's almost like, to me, that's like proof that we're doing what we
Proof.
think we're doing, right? You know, when
Exactly. I
science
love
and
that.
spirituality overlaps like that. I mean, how beautiful, and to remind us how powerful we are as creators, creatrixes. And we are far more capable than we realize. So every moment that we feel our love helps everyone, like Rhonda was saying. You know, you can't separate our well-being from the well-being of the world. Yeah.
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 So you can see we still do the reading every day, 1 p.m. Brussels time. So we're an hour later here reading it in the United States at 8 a.m. until Eastern time until next weekend. Next weekend we shift back to 7 a.m. Eastern time. And when you come to the space, which by the way, you can come to the room that we go to, it's open 24/7, 365. You can come to that room that I put the link in the chat anytime you would like. The poem is on the wall. You can also listen to the music that was created for the poem. You can also, there's an interactive map on the wall where you can click different countries and hear different versions of the poem. And we also have that original scan from Katie in the room on the wall that you can look at. And I'm going to put the new one in there as well when Katie sends it over.
Okay.
I said it's almost like a little shrine in there when you go in for love.
Yeah.
To stand for love.
Why not?
So it's pretty cool little space.
I love that. Well, thank you everyone for sharing that with us. It was special, and I'm fine if we do this every year. I mean, it's a beautiful thing, no matter what. So, thank you. Anything else that Ollie or Daria would like to share? Because I know, remember, Daria had a schedule. Nope.
Just want to express my appreciation to Jessica for creating this shrine, this space, you know, a room it's like a sanctuary.
That's a
Without
better word.
space, there's no, it's a poem, it's powerful, but having that space where we can actually meet and get together from all over the world, different continents, being there is so, so special. So thank you, Jessica, for being really a guardian of the poem, of the legacy, of the message. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, Daria. I just keep going back to when Dorothy lost her friend, she wrote the poem. And when I lost Dorothy, I needed to create a space. I needed to create something too. And so she's there and she's here with all of us. I believe that. And I hope everybody just feels more love.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm going to put the poem up for a minute while our guests, and thank our guests for coming. And I'll put the poem up again as they disappear off screen, and everyone can just read it one more time and come back to it. So, it's yourselves. Okay. Thank you all for
Can I
being
share
with us for
something?
this
Thank
part.
you, and
But
thank you,
stay with us
Jessica.
because we'll be
Yes.
talking a little bit more to Katie after this. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Ollie, you're welcome to stay with us because Katie's going to talk to
Yes,
us today.
and
So,
I would like to share ultimately something is that in every
Oh,
language
thank you.
there is also can I share?
sure,
In
absolutely.
Yes.
in every language there is a depth of meaning. For instance, I can translate a little passage that is I choose love, and I take within this light the strength to remain standing up, to transmute violence, and to end wars. And so the each language brings also a kind of subtlety of translation that is probably not in the original languages. And so thank you also to realize also that and anything it's not only to remember about victims in Brussels bombings, but victims all around the world, including New York, because by instance, in a few months there will be the 25th anniversary, I think, of the World Trade Center attacks, and so it's to really include everyone who was, is, and sadly will be impacted about terrorist attacks, and to realize that there is a choice of love to have. So that for me, it's really to always bring the love in the center and the listening. And that at the end, we are 8.3 plus billion human in a vehicle, and our time is finite. One day we will be out of our vehicles, and to learn to coexist with each other. So thank you.
That's
Thank you, Ollie.
beautiful. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Katie, we are waiting to hear your most beautiful and detailed reports. Wait, I gotta get my notes out. Okay, I'm ready. What is happening this
Well, I think
spring?
at this point it's like so crazy. Everybody's getting their notepad out because we're all feeling it. I don't think anybody's being like, yeah, not impacted by the energy. Have you guys just felt like intense? I mean, what
Like
have you been feeling?
I've been
squeeze.
feeling
Squeeze.
Yeah.
intensely optimistic. Like,
Oh,
honestly.
wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
it's a new beginning.
I'm
I
waiting
love
for
that.
that good
That's a
shoe to
great.
drop.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, and it's coming,
Okay,
girl.
let's do
It's
that.
coming. We got a little more couple bumps to go for sure, for sure. 2026 is, as we are all feeling, definitely a year of complete transition. And Things are going to get a little bumpier before they settle down. 2027 will feel a little more calm than this year. But I mean, this is the fire horse year. It's a 1 year. Like, we knew this was coming. We just didn't know how it was going to play out. And everything, even, the most tragic of the tragedies, when you pull back to a cosmic level, which is what I'm talking about with an energy update, and we're just doing a little equinox update for the next couple months. That's what we're looking at. And the universe is neutral, right? So if change is necessary, change is what we will see, right? And it doesn't always feel, great, but it is necessary for growth. And that's exactly where we're at. So we just experienced this week, kind of a wild week. We had the spring equinox, and then the start of the new astrological new year starts from a energetic standpoint. We consider the equinox and the point that the zodiac moves into 0 degrees Aries, the initiating energy of the zodiac, as our new year. So if you have not been able to hold your New Year's resolutions in January, and you're always wondering why, a lot of it is because those were just arbitrary dates picked, right, by whoever for organization, which I get. But when you're looking at things from an energetic standpoint, this is truly where you're finally going to feel a little lift. Like Rhonda's saying, like, the shackles are, the things that have weighted you down are going to be dropping off, and you're going to feel that fire. Aries is fire energy. It's passion. It is the child, right? Like the newborn child that, we've been moving through this birth canal, and now, the child has been born, that inner child in you. And where do you want to, what are your intentions, right? Let's get real intentional, because this, like I said, is a year like no other. We actually, within like this, a 6 months period, we are having every single one of our outer planets change signs. That does not happen. I mean, it's probably been thousands of years, right? This is how impactful this time is for us right now.
I can't remember the last time. So
yeah, and I think it just helps us to know, because I think we're all feeling like, holy moly, like this doesn't feel like normal, just, kind of, a little crazy energy. I mean, this is a complete reset. It started when we had in November, if you all remember, Pluto moved into Aquarius. Pluto is the most outer planet. It is the driver of all frequency patterns, you name it. And it takes 250 years to do its orbit. It hit that 250 year mark and started, page 1. This is a whole new way of being, living, existing, all the things. So right when we're trying to adjust to that, guess what? Now we have the other planets starting to kind of kick in, and we had Saturn and Neptune, which I'm sure everybody's been talking about, you guys have been hearing, cross over that 0 point that we're talking about and step into Aries. And what that looks like, and we're seeing it play out in real time, we've been sitting with Neptune and Pisces energy, and everybody's just felt it, like, what's real, what isn't. It's been very clouded, right? AI has really brought that to light. My friends send me stuff, and I'm like, is that even real? Like, is that, like, we can't trust. What do we even trust, right? And then you've got the, Pisces is about gurus and us putting people on pedestals, right? And assuming that they, are pure, and having this disillusionment of what we see. Well, like the Epstein scandal and all these things now that Neptune has moved into Aries, it's a whole different energy, right? No longer all those gurus are being knocked off their pedestal, because Aries brings it back to the body. It brings it back to you as an individual. And so what this setup is doing, what the universe is setting us up for, is Pluto moving into Aquarius. It's about power decentralization. And you're really seeing that play out on a global level. Systems are falling apart. Structures can't continue to hold. And it's awful to watch. But at the same time, like I said, when you pull out to that 30,000 foot view and you become neutral, you become the observer of the dream. This is a dream that we are all existing in. We are eternal beings, right? You really have to hold on and anchor that in because, things are getting really crazy. But what it's doing is it's forcing you inward. Neptune is spirit. It is our highest essence, right? It's our highest timeline, our highest potential. And now you've got that Saturn in Aries, which is the vessel. It's our body. So our highest potential life, is laying out before us, but it's only going to be able, we will only be able to create and ground from the frequency that we emit, just like we were talking with the biofeedback system. And so if you are still running old programs, fear, looking outside of yourself for somebody to save you, again, that guru, mentality, it's not working. And I think you can really feel it because people that I'm doing sessions on and talking to are really having a hard time stabilizing because normally you can either, if you're recalibrating within and you're doing some releasing and some letting go, you're able to like look outside and find a vantage point and kind of ground, or vice versa. If things are crazy in the world, you just go within, right? And you kind of just hide out, lay low for a while, and then step back out. But we're having both happen simultaneously, and it's really throwing people off your game. And so I just want to share that because if you're feeling that way, just know you're not alone. We are all feeling that because I've talked to so many people that think, oh my gosh, it's just me. All these things in my life are falling apart. But just know it's happening. None of us are getting out of this because the outer planets are the frequency background noise. It's like when you go to the grocery store and they've got the music playing and it's like you can barely hear it. It's not even like you're paying attention, but it's there. And it's affecting your mood, right? It's just affecting, all the things that you might even be subtly thinking about. That's what's happening. We're experiencing this on a massive level. So you have to make a choice. This equinox that brings balance, it's really this pivotal point in time right now where picture yourself, in the middle of the equinox and you look, to your left and that's your past. That's the old version of you. You look this way to the right, that is your potential. That is the new timeline that is demanding or calling you, I should say, to step in. So you can really see where you're in the 0 point field as we have all of this new chapter energy starting that doesn't happen for hundreds or maybe even thousands of years. So the thing is right now, what you have to really be focusing on and like really wrapping your brain around is it's no longer about, we've been taught that to succeed, to get ahead, to make things happen. It's about pushing, it's about driving, it's about manifesting and making it happen. And we're wondering why all of a sudden now we're still doing these things, but we're not getting the results, right, that we would normally get. Well, the Aquarius energy that's really being amplified right now is more divine feminine. It's really calling us, like I said, to go inward and to realize that our being, our frequency field, like we just saw with that aura scan, is truly what is allowing our experiences to come into our field. If you've got a really low, dense, vibrating field full of fear and programs and, just all the things, think about it. When you go out, that's what you're going to see, right? It's just going to be mirrored back to you. And so whatever you can be doing right now to move out of some of that programming and to clear your body so that you can hold more of your spirit, more of your higher self. Neptune is there. It wants to come in. And I think that's why so many people right now are feeling out of sorts. And they're feeling like, gosh, I don't know who I am anymore. I've seen, because I do astrology, human design, and as you guys saw, the biofeedback sessions on people, and I get visions, when I connect into people's fields. And I can't tell you, the last couple of weeks, like almost every single person that I've been working with, when I tune in, I see them standing at the precipice of multiple timelines. And it's crazy because I've seen it consistently enough that I'm like, wow, this is really where we're at on a collective level. And it's
Amazing.
like a choice point, and it really has to do with vibration. And one of the things I will say about the biofeedback program is if you are looking for like a tool or a way, because it's like, okay, I know I've got outdated, ideas and beliefs and fears and things that I need to work through. How do I do that? Biofeedback is one of the ways that you can do that, because it taps into what you can't see within yourself. And then you're like, oh, okay, gosh, yeah, you're right. I do have these fears or these limiting beliefs that are in my field, and I just wasn't aware of it. But anything you can be doing to bring this up and allow the release. I mean, tears are good right now. If you can't, if you're just overwhelmed, the equinox is about connecting with nature, right? It's Gaia, it's the divine mother giving us that ultimate reset and balancing things out between light and dark and the duality that we exist in. And I had a very overwhelming experience myself this week that really threw me off, and I started spiraling, and a lot of just old grief and just sadness and things came up, and I went out to nature. And when I got overwhelmed enough to where I realized, okay, I'm starting to spiral and I'm going to have a hard time just pulling myself out of this funk. I need
Right.
help. There's things all around you, and I know this sounds silly to maybe some, but I, was walking through doing my little hike, and I was just the trees, I was feeling the support and the neutrality and all the things that they were able to give me. And, I was shedding a couple tears, and the ferns, I live in Seattle, we've got ferns everywhere. The ferns, they literally just wanted to reach up and wipe my tears away. And the water, that as I move through the water, all the mental overwhelm, water moves energy. Think about it. Trees emit oxygen that resets the brain. There's so many things that don't cost anything that you can do and work with, to get you to a place right now. Whatever you can do to be emptying out, clearing out. You cannot take this old dense energy with you. When people are standing at these timelines that I see, it's about density. It's about we are moving slowly but surely away from this carbon-based form into more of a light body being. And we are really, you can feel it. Your nervous systems are really triggered, we like probably can't sleep, or maybe you got to sleep all the time, or you've just got this anxiety or this fight or flight. Teresa, I loved it when you brought up the Schumann resonance, because people are, oh my gosh, the Schumann resonance off the charts. Gaia is in the same boat. I mean, we're all in this together. And when you see this Gaia and the Schumann resonance doing this, guess what that's doing to you on an individual level? It's doing the same thing. It's our bodies are truly in a state of mutation. So knowledge is power. Awareness is everything. Consciousness is expanding, whether you like it or not. So you can get on board and do things like listen to shows like these, that allow you to understand. Because when you can understand, that's the first step to embodied wisdom, right? And right now, what you're trying to do are things that allow you to embody more consciousness, step into the timeline that is yours, that's meant to be. You are writing a new story right now with all of this powerful energy moving in, across that zodiac line. Think of it like the wind is at your sails right now, for better or for worse. So like I said, if you do have days, where you're spiraling, that's okay. We are all having them. We're all going to have them. But I don't care if you have to crawl, into your local park, I mean, get out in nature, do whatever you can to move that energy so that you can really start to create from alignment, right? From magnetism. Think of the way the feminine energy works. It's less effort and it's more being, and it's more trusting, that when you get clear and aligned within, that mind, body, spirit connection through your own energy and rewiring and rewriting your own identity, start thinking in terms of gosh, I wish I could be this someday, to, you know what, if I was that version of myself right now, how would I make my next choice? How would this day work if I was that person that I really see myself wanting to be in 10 years? And if you just take one step as that person, that timeline that I can see in my psychic field, what you're doing is you're just bringing that frequency into your field, and that's how you become that person. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're looking around and you're like, oh my gosh, look, it arrived. And you're scratching your head going, I don't even recall what I did specifically. It's because this is feminine energy that we're really working with, but in a self-sovereign, powerful way. So you've got to be taking the power back into yourself and going within and becoming self-sourced. That's how you're going to thrive when we really step into 2027. And if you guys ever want to have me back, because I know we're out of time now, but you know, human design is my passion, and human design studies universal cycles. And 2027 is when we step into a new 500-year cycle. Again, background frequency shifts, as you can start to see. It's happening already this year. It's been happening since 2020, essentially, just getting everything set up for that. But we could even spend a whole episode on that, because I think it would be important for people to, again, when you can understand it, it takes the fear away, and then you can start to work with it and go, okay, how do I ride this wave, you know, and use it so that I can live my best life and be the best version of myself that I want to be.
I love that, Katie. How do you see the summer energy?
Oh, thank you for bringing that up. Yes, because we have one more outer planet. Uranus is moving into Gemini in April. And so that is when lightning, things are going to take off. April and in May might feel a little like, whoa, again, nervous system's trying to calibrate, mental overwhelm, overstimulation, AI technology just really blasting off. Then in July, a big one too is we have Leo moving into Jupiter. Whatever your essence is, whatever your expression is, your soul's expression, it's amplified. All the energy in the field essentially is amplified. Things are going to be, Leo's a very, you know, it's an optimistic, it's a powerful sign. It's will, if you could say Leo energy in one word. Jupiter is amplifying that. So you will be able to get things done, you know. You will be able to create if you're a creative type, you know, start new projects. Look at where Leo is in your chart. I would totally urge you to do that. And that's where you're going to see some luck. You're going to see some opportunity. And again, if you can look now, you can start to plan and maybe adjust, you know, some of your.
The 8 gateway is going to be cool.
Oh, yes. Let's do
I'm traveling that time. Yeah,
so,
that's wonderful. Yeah. And I'm a Leo rising, I guess it is.
Of course you do, Rhonda. This is why we all love Rhonda. Everybody loves a Leo rising. Leo risings are the best.
So that's, where my Leo is. Well, they don't like Aries all the time, but yeah. Okay, good. So we'll have to have you back, whether it's the 8/8, Teresa and I'll get together, or when we'll get our schedules meshing together, and figuring out where we're going to all be.
Yeah, we can.
And Katie, when you say, you know, have a look where your Leo is, you mean what house it is in our birth chart?
Yes, thank you for clarifying. Exactly.
Yeah,
where it's at. And then you could at least look that up, you know. Where's your
Leo's in my moon.
Are you looking right now?
I am.
Do you have your chart?
I'm a moon. I think Leo's in my moon. And
oh, wow.
Moon and rising.
Leo rising and Aries sun.
Yeah.
You are so much fire. Look at her. Look, no wonder she can get anything done. I mean, she is like unstoppable.
As long as I don't procrastinate, which is Leo, which is Aries.
Yeah, but
we start lots of things. We start lots of things. We just don't finish everything.
You just light that flame and you've got it done, no problem.
Yeah,
burn things down. I didn't realize you had that much fire. Are you looking at your chart, Teresa?
I am. My birth chart has Leo in the 9th house with Uranus right there.
Oh, creative girl, aren't you?
Oh, she
Oh,
is. She's an awesomely
future
creative
energy.
girl.
Yes.
Aw.
She does all those
Fire
wonderful
knowledge.
trailers for us, and the newsletter, which if you, I'll put that back up so you can
Oh gosh,
subscribe.
that's gonna be my yes, mine's gonna be in the ninth house too and 10th as well. So you and
Okay.
I will have to talk.
Yeah, 9th and 10th. It's a little over into the 10th as well. And
Oh,
I just,
cool.
you're absolutely brilliant, Katie. I have so enjoyed everything in today's show, but just sort of focusing on what you're sharing now. And it's like with the Neptune and Saturn coming together, it's like grounding our spirituality, right? Giving
Yes.
structure, focus, living it. So I think that's why I was feeling that squeeze, because everything that wasn't part of that was just being squeezed out. And every moment, and you mentioned choices, every moment is a brilliant choice for us to be love, to be gratitude, to be peace, and just to be authentic. And
Authentic.
interestingly, I never considered this to be a timeline jump. And earlier this week, I did a big timeline jump.
I'm
And
telling you, everybody is there.
I
We
could
are all right
feel it.
there. Thank you for sharing that you noticed you
Yes,
stepping in. Yep.
absolutely. And also, aren't all the planets going direct sometime early this week?
Right. Everybody was talking about, you're probably thinking of Mercury, because right at the time that we had the equinox and then we had, moving into Aries energy, it's unusual at that exact same point that we had Mercury going. And you're right, Jupiter just went direct.
Yeah.
Yes. And
Yes.
so, yeah, there's just been so much of this inward kind of spiral, and it's felt heavy and it's been intense, but it's necessary. It's a purge, and you have to go with it. Because, like I said, when I had my off day, I realized, talk about timelines, I had this awareness in the given moment of
Hmm.
I can choose this to be a gift, to allow me the awareness that there are still layers of the onion that need to be peeled, right? And so I shifted in real time, and going into nature was what really helped me. But you
Yes.
have the power. That is the message that we are in right now. It's really about realizing that the power does not lie outside of you in religion or governments or systems or whatever it is. And I'm not trying to be triggering, but it's the reality of where we're at right now. It's self-sourced, and that's where you're creating your reality from. That's why you can have two people in the same room having two completely different experiences.
Yeah, and part of that too, you were mentioning healing, and we're always doing that, right? I mean, I might even have a basket of onions for all I know, right?
I know I
You
do.
know, like, I don't know, but it's closing the previous time loops, whatever
Yes,
that is, because it's hard to
yes.
step into a new timeline with these old lingering things that
Yeah, we
haven't
have to
had
put those bags
transformation.
down, consciously put them
We really
down and say,
do.
we're not picking them up and dragging them with us. We're just
Yeah,
Yes.
leaving them
possible
behind,
surrendering. Mhm.
leaving
Right.
them
I
behind.
recently asked
We don't
someone,
need
well,
them.
about the disempowerment triangle, the victim, the perpetrator, and the savior, the helper, or whatever. I said, okay, well, if we get off that, what's the next triangle? And the person says, well, why do you need another triangle? Right? We don't, right? We
I
can
would say the observer. I think the end goal for all of us is to become that neutral observer. You're the furniture in the room. Truly, source is creative energy that is moving through, experiencing itself through us. We are all little tiny little fractals of light, right?
Yes,
And
yes,
let it
yes.
move through you. And I mean, we're going to go through bad times. I'm not saying it's all rainbows and butterflies, but don't hold on to it. That's what creates
Yeah.
that density in the
Yeah.
body. And like Teresa said, as now Neptune, our spirit is trying to move in and switch our timelines. It's our own fault, and ultimately, if we hang on to the density and don't allow that to happen. And if you can't do it on your own, which I understand, a lot of us, it's really, really challenging. then even just like things, this is free, the fact that you guys are tuning in right now and listening to this and getting that support. There's just so many things out there that you can do that you might not even be aware of, right?
Talk about your circle before you leave.
Oh, yes. One of the things you can do is Rhonda joins me every month. I host I call it a Celestial Circle on Patreon. And it's just a beautiful group of people coming together. And we talk about the energy. We become aware of what's going on. We calibrate to the highest, potential of it. So we are ready to go for the month ahead. And we use the biofeedback and other tools that we use today. And it's community. That's what we need right now as we are going through these changes. I think you guys all agree. It's like finding people that are like-minded and understand what you're going through and are also wanting to, lift up and be the best version of themselves. When you surround yourself with those type of people, again, it's frequency. You're getting that support. You're getting that feedback. You're getting out of the loop that you guys just mentioned, that we've been stuck in this loop for so long. Now we're crossing into a new chapter where that loop no longer exists. So you're going to stay in the old paradigm with that loop until it burns out, or, the choice is yours. So I would love to have you join me on the Celestial Circle, first Friday of the month, 12 to 1 Pacific time.
Awesome.
Sounds great. I'll sign up.
Yay! Oh my God, I'd love to be
It's
there.
awesome. It's so much fun. And you get tones every month as well.
Oh, that's right. Every week I send out frequencies in between the circle. You're right, because I got you guys. I got you. Like, I will send something out that you can listen to and stay calibrated throughout the week for the price of a cup of coffee. It's like, really, like, why not do it? At this point where we're at in 2026, really, like, why would you not be doing something like that?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. T-Dubs, any closing words before we make
well,
the
yeah, I
birds?
was going to tell, we're continuing the excitement because next week, the question is, what sparks and what harnesses the fiery Aries energy in 2026? And so we're listening to a lot of things now, but we're going to be pulling cards, intuitive messages bringing through for Aries and for the collective. And join us at 12 noon Eastern next Sunday, March 29th. And even though we're celebrating Aries and it's the last day of March, it's still continuing through until, through April until our next one.
And we will have a replay on Easter weekend because we're just taking a break. So we're going to choose, it'll be a surprise because we haven't chosen it yet. So it'll be a surprise for you guys, which ones we're going to replay just for your enjoyment. And so, join us next week as we pull cards for my birthday.
Tomorrow,
Happy birthday!
Tomorrow, please join me on Project Joy Live at 9 a.m. Eastern time. Yeah, because I watch at 8 a.m. Central. So at 9 a.m. Eastern time. And I will be talking about some exciting things coming up on Spirit Sessions this spring.
Super, super, Teresa. And you can check out our page because I think we have a link in the page that she's made a lovely post and you can go and check it out. So Project Live, we love Jessica and the network she's brought us onto. And so we celebrate that. And I'm celebrating. I'll try to get sneaking from work and watch you live, sort of on my phone as I'm paying attention to work.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds great if I can show up in my jammies.
You can show up in your jam. Everyone can show up in their jammies. Yeah. Oh yeah, because it'll be really early for you, Teresa.
Yeah, on the West Coast
and Katie. So yeah,
really early.
Thank you so much, ladies. Stay on afterwards, and we love you and thank you so much. And Elsie, glad to see you, Elsie.
Oh my gosh, Elise!
Yeah, Elise. Sorry, my brain.
Out there engineering empathy every day. She
Every
is an
day.
earth angel for sure. Bless you, Elise.
Absolutely.
It's so good
Bless
to
you.
see your name.
Yeah, lovely, lovely. Thank you all for joining us. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just check to see if you have. Sometimes you think you have and you haven't, but just go and check because we're at 883. We're so close to 1,000. Let's
Oh,
make it 1,000. I'm really,
yes.
really excited. So get your friends, get your spouses to subscribe. You know, just go into their account and subscribe them. Do it all the time.
That Aries
So,
energy.
yeah, you know. It's all for the good of the world. So, yeah,
Yes.
our news is always good news all the time. So take care, everybody. Love you. And see you next week.
Happy equinox.
Happy equinox.
Bye-bye.
Oh, yeah. Woohoo, spring.
This is a view of the light.